I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What is going on, everyone? This is the after show for I Am Not Okay With This. You know what else I am also not okay with? This damn virus that's going around everywhere. But we are here. We are here for you. We're bringing you amazing content. So please, my lovely and beautiful panel, introduce yourselves.
Hi. Div, you want to go? You go.
You go. Ladies first.
Thank
Ladies
you.
first.
Kelsey Meyer. Hi. Hey, everyone.
It's your boy Div. What's up?
And this is your boy, Ricky Vitucci, hailing from Brooklyn, New York. Actually, I'm not there right now, but that's where I'm from. But we are here now going to speak about episode 4 of I Am Not Okay With This. My beautiful people, give me your overall thoughts of this episode.
Kelsey, ladies first.
Kelsey, you always go first, Kelsey. You are the lady.
I always go first. I love it. This episode was a lot. There was a lot in this episode. I mean, I think I just keep getting more excited because the beginning, you're like, okay, we're getting into this. We're getting into this. Now, episode 4, you're like, oh, crap. What is happening? What's going on with Sydney? What are these powers going to do? What's she going to do about it? It just makes me, like, every episode I watch, it makes me more excited to watch the next one. So I loved this episode. There's a lot you learn and a lot that just keeps progressing. And you're just like, ooh, it's good. I loved it.
100%. I think this was the monumental episode because now Sid is not the only person that knows about her superpowers. Stanley now knows too. So the secret's out. Things are going crazy. Yeah, it was nuts. I'm so excited for the next episode, but super excited to dive into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a profound. It was like the staple of the season 1 so far. With how things have developed. However, I do not like Stanley's father. Ugh. I think he's a mean drunk. And the fact that he uses the F-bomb for not F-U-C-K, but the F-bomb if someone was gay. I do not like that word. My uncle was gay and you know, I feel like that word is like using the N-word for Black people. It's a very disgusting word. It's an awful word. So I know it's something that we do not want to discuss, but since unfortunately it's a reality for some people, how did that make you feel when you heard his father actually call his son that because of what he was wearing?
Pissed. Like, I was pissed. You have this whole opening scene where Stanley's just feeling himself. He's getting ready. He's excited. He's feeling good. And then you have this run-in with his dad where you've already gotten not a glimpse of the dad, but Stan's talked about his dad not being a good guy. And then you meet him and you're just like, oh, and this is why. He sucks. He knocks him down like 4 pegs. And you're just like, you suck. Like, what the heck? So it pissed me off. I mean, to say the least. It was just like so rude coming from, a father who clearly doesn't care. And it sucked.
Yeah, I wanted to jump into the screen and punch him in the face. Like, that was
totally.
It's just so unnecessary. Like, again, you see the whole beginning scene of Stanley in the shower, trying on his clothes, singing, and he's totally feeling himself. Yeah, he's totally feeling himself. And then his dad just knocks him down. Yeah, not cool.
And it makes you think too, it's like, I admired and respected Stanley even more so after that, because Stan comes across as such this confident, happy, great kid. And then you see the shit that he has to deal with at home. And you're just like, you feel for him and you really you're on his team even more. At least that's how I felt. I was like, I already like this guy a lot. And I liked him even more after that. I was like, you go. Screw your dad. You go.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to see, because we kind of get a glimpse and a hint as to Stanley's life and what he has to go through on a daily. It doesn't look like he's in the best living environment. His dad seems to be a drunk, seems to be mean, seems to clearly have insecurity problems with himself, hence why he's out lashing to his son. But then you also see Stanley when he's not around his father, he's this bubbly, happy, like fun guy, fun kid. And it's just a cool, beautiful thing to see that a kid at that age could remove himself from home, what's happening at home, to what's going on with his friends in that like school.
He's super mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
At such a young age too.
No, I think it's what kind of draws you to him as a character. At least that's how I felt, because it's like I feel like he's one of the more grounded characters in this show, and then you get even more of a glimpse into like his life, and you're like, dang, how are you such a cool high schooler? Like, what? So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Speaking
and
of being,
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say the writer is also like, whoever's making the show is also building some sort of connection. I guess another connection between Sid and Stanley, because obviously Sid has her issues with her mom. Now Stanley's got his issues with his dad. Like they're trying to build some sort of, you know, more similarities between the two, which is interesting. So yeah, you were saying.
Speaking about like being like cool, like Sid's powers have grown profusely. Mega powers this girl has.
Mega powers.
We see Stanley noticing Sydney. So we actually see now it's Stanley sees Sydney scream and blow down all of these trees. If you notice your friend doing that, just try to put yourself in like your shoes.
Crazy.
Like you just leave the party, it's raining, something crosses your car, you crash your car, which is not your car, it's your dad's. You get out of the car and you notice that these trees, you literally witness your close friend now below these trees down. What is going through your mind as a teenager in that scenario?
Well, so like crashing your dad's car is bad enough, right? Like if I was in that sort of situation, I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm screwed. But then you turn to the right and you see your friend like knock over trees with her like anger. Like what?
Yeah.
Insane.
And it's like they're friends, but he also likes her, right? So that adds like a whole nother element. He feels for her. He's like, holy cow, what's going on? And then she turns and screams at him to not say anything, like freaks out at him. And he's just kind of standing there stunned. He wants to protect her because she's his friend, but he also likes her. And it's, I mean, I don't know what I would think if I was in his shoes. It's wild.
I mean, it looked like when Stanley saw Sydney do it, it kind of looked like Stanley was like, whoa, that's so cool.
Right.
He wasn't afraid, like, oh my God, like what just happened? He was just like, Sydney. He was more like excited. I don't know. That's how it looked.
No, I agree. I feel like he's kind of looked like that every time. I mean, this is the second time he's seen something. And the first was the chip thing. He was like, wait, hold up. What's going on? And now he sees this. He's like, this is real. Like, this is a thing. And I agree with you. He seems to be kind of stoked about it. He's like, what are we going to do about this? What do you have that I need to learn more about? Like, let's tackle it. And I think he's excited too.
Yeah, he's super open-minded. Like you can tell that his head is already sort of this place of insane amounts of imagination and creativity. So when he sees this in person, it's not even like, oh my God, like how did this happen? It was like, oh my God, this happened. Let's figure it out, you know? So, yeah, super cool.
So now with all of this stemming out, her powers growing and all of these things happening, Sydney is at home and she's having a conversation with her mom. And we kind of get to see here what seems to be the real reason why her mom acts a certain way towards her. Her mom says something along the lines of, you always used to take your dad's side over mine,
Mhm.
which I kind of feel like she's jealous of her. She was jealous of her husband when he was alive, and now that he's dead, Sydney's still taking his side instead of hers. So it makes her even more mad. So it's in my eyes, it's stemming like this is the reason why she's acting and treating Sydney the way she is.
Right.
Do you both feel like that is spot on?
I do. I mean, I think I was maybe when I shouldn't have been, but with the scene on the couch earlier where she doesn't give Sydney like any support, I was like slightly empathetic towards the mom because it's clearly she's going through something. Like, yes, she needs to be a mother, but clearly there's like she's harboring some sort of something, whether it's against her husband or it's against who knows what. And I think you're right. Here it kind of shows like she's jealous. She's envious of that bond that Sydney and her father had, and the fact that Sydney still, even after he's passed on, is like holding it over her mother almost.
Yeah, and she brings up the fact, I don't know if it was earlier or later in the episode, but she's like, I work like 60 hours a week, like da da da. So she's like, I feel for her, like I'm obviously not a single mother, but if I was and I'm working that long a week and my kid doesn't even really appreciate it or doesn't show the appreciation, I would also be pretty upset. So
Right.
But there's a reason why. Kids don't normally just do things because they want to do them. There has to be, which we don't know yet, but there has to be a reason why before, and hopefully they show this in this season, if not hopefully next or at some point. There has to be a reason why Sydney was always siding with the father.
Right. Like she has some sort of tie to him, or allegiance to him that she and her mom don't have.
Or it's just maybe a bond that her and her dad click more than her and her mom. Like or maybe something happened between the mom and the dad that she didn't like, that she's now holding a resentment towards. Like there's a reason why she's acting this way, like towards her mom.
But I feel like you see when after her mom's like, you always picked him over me, you see Sydney kind of take her guard down a little bit. Like she's listening. And I feel like that's the first time she kind of actually listens to her mom when they're butting heads. She's like, oh, okay. I mean, maybe she's not fully like receptive of it, but I feel like she's more receptive than she has been thus far with her mom. She's like, okay, maybe I see your point. I see that I'm hurting you.
Yeah. I feel like they both there's some part of them that wants to have a relationship with each other, but no one is like taking that first step, Yeah, but sure. I think their relationship will continue to kind of develop through the next few episodes.
Yep, I agree. I think she'll end up helping her in some way. I think her mom will end up kind of being her like turn to be, I hope so too, to be like just very supportive and helpful to her and all of her crazy powers and everything she's going through.
So I adore her little brother. Adore him. I think he's the cutest little kid. The fact that at his age, seeing the mom and the daughter not getting along, and he offers to make dinner. And me being the food lover that I am, he makes a Liam loaded lasagna and says, I know it's not lasagna, but I needed to put an L in there, which I thought was really cute. But now, if your little brother was like, hey, I'm gonna make dinner, and he hands you the dinner and it doesn't look appetizing, and then he starts naming off all of the things that he put in the lasagna, like, would you eat it just because you feel bad for your little brother? Like, what would go through your mind now? But before you say anything, I want to tell you the ingredients in this. It was bad. Macaroni, it's cheese, maple syrup, A1 ham, margarine, cinnamon, fish sticks, soy sauce, grape jelly, crushed graham crackers, and a jar in the fridge, not even knowing what the jar was. That
He's
is
so
a Liam's
cute.
loaded lasagna.
It's so cute.
How do you feel about that?
I thought it was cute. It reminded me so much of Elf when he pours the maple syrup on the pasta and the mom eats it. I was just like, oh, this kid he's trying so much. I mean, he initially comes up with the idea when Sid and their mom are fighting, right? He's like, I can make dinner. Like, I can make myself dinner. So he's trying so hard to keep them from fighting, to keep any like anger or tension from happening. And he makes this lasagna, doesn't even listen to Sid when she's trying to be like, oh, ew. No, he's like, eat it before it's not hot anymore. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I agree with you. I think he's the cutest, most wonderful little child.
Yeah, I would have tried it. I mean, I think he put so much effort. Like, he had his little apron on and stuff. Like, he was doing his best. But it kind of reminded me of one of my fraternity days where they made us eat a cardboard puzzle. Like, they blended it up with like salami and bacon and all this disgusting stuff. So
You guys
Oh.
know it was a puzzle?
yeah,
Ew.
gross.
Look at Ricky's
And you
face.
ate it?
What?
And you ate it?
We all had to eat it. Yeah, all of the Pudge
What would
brothers.
happen if you didn't?
You don't have a choice. You have to.
Oh my God. It made you eat cardboard?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what fraternity though.
No, yeah, it's
Yikes.
fine. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
No,
That's
thank
like
you.
hazing.
it
It
is.
is
Eat this.
hazing.
It is. But Liam's so cute. I mean, he's a I love him.
But back to Liam. I like when he mentions too, he's like, I used to be scared to cook, or I used to not want to cook. And then she's like, well, you don't want to cook, or what was the line? It was like he said he used to be scared to cook, but he just did it. He just tried it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're the best. So I would eat it. I would absolutely try it.
You would have finished the whole bowl.
Whole bowl. Extra.
I would have been a little skeptic, but just
course.
if I loved my brother that much, I would be like, okay, I'll just take a bite.
And she
I just
does.
take a
She said
bite.
it's good.
She liked it.
Of
Yeah.
course she likes it. Sydney. I wasn't surprised at that. However, we see like the ball is starting to roll in Sydney's favor here, I think, because it's like her brother's trying to do something for her to help her out. Then Sydney goes to the bowling alley to speak to Stanley. And now Stanley is also trying to offer up his help, try to help her cope with all that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
This scene, this moment, how did it make you feel to see someone that really cares for Sydney really try to make her hone into, I guess, being in control over her powers, and on top of that, really trying to find out more?
I'm like, talk about allegiance. I feel like Stan is there for Sydney through it all. I mean, most people would see that the whole tree thing, I mean, and run away, right? And I think, Ricky, you mentioned this at the beginning, when he watched the whole tree, like all the trees fall, he looked excited, and he is. And so they get to the bowling alley, and he has this whole stack of books. He's done his research, and he really wants to help her, because I think, at least how I took it, was he sees how uncomfortable she is and how she doesn't know what to do. And he's like, I'm here for you. Let's figure this out. This is really cool. Let's make this a cool thing. So I was like, I like Stan. Stan just love Stan.
Yeah. There hasn't been a moment in the show so far where you're like, I don't like Stan. Like, everything he does is so yeah. But no, that whole scene was so cool. Like, when he was like, you have to make the popcorn pop, and then you have to drop the cans. Like, that whole scene was really, really cool. And then obviously we get to the bowling ball, where she gets angry, and that was crazy. Like, he definitely got into her nerves, and you could see how angry she was. And I was scared that the bowling balls were gonna like hit him, when that happened. Luckily it didn't.
Well, she actually screamed at him.
Right.
Because she's like, I could have killed you. Like, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute too. That was a cute moment, because you think
she cares.
Right. Well, and you think that she's going to scream at him for saying all those things that he did to her. And she's like, no, like you said, he cares, or she cares. She's like, I could have killed you. I don't care what you said to me. I could have killed you. And I was like, right. She does care about him.
Yeah. How funny was it? How funny was the stack of books were all comic books that he was reading the symptoms of like a spider biting you for like Spider-Man. Like he was reading all of these. I thought that was such a Stanley thing to do.
Yeah. And then he says that he can be her sidekick or her mentor. He's like, wait, you have a mentor? It's like, okay, I'll be your mentor. I'm like, oh, he's living for this. I love it.
Yeah. We all need a friend like Stanley, honestly.
We do.
I agree.
We definitely do. Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. Yep. But before we move on any further, I just want to say to all of the fans watching out there right now, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. Without you, there would be no us or no AfterBuzz. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for every single thing that you do. If you haven't already, please rate us 5 stars on our podcast on iTunes. Go on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. Let us know your thoughts, whatever it is that you want us to do that we're not doing already. If it's a show or just anything, just let us know how you feel. We want to make this experience, this view, this whole thing for you to be amazing. And I'm going to end on this note that I have to do all the time. I know that we are at the current state that we're in now, the whole world with the coronavirus. Just please be safe. Stay indoors as much as you can. And if you have to go outside for essential things like food and that kind of things, keep your distance from people and make sure to wash your hands all the time for at least 20 seconds. And I don't want to hear you guys saying that I'm bored, there's nothing to do, because we're here for hours on end, giving you all a bunch of content, some entertainment for 20 minutes, for an hour, however long the after show is, and we do it for you. So thank you. We love you, and be safe out there. So I would like to end this episode with a pretty cool gem, I guess, or a cool hint, a cool gem. We see something as Sydney storming off down the alleyway. We see as the scene cuts, right before the scene cuts, there's this what looks to be like a Grim Reaper kind of black shadow, and then it seems to be staring at her, and then all of a sudden it just falls and goes off. What the hell was that?
That was eerie. That was wild. And I thought that it was super interesting too, because Stanley was just going over all the things to know about powers with her, right? And he's like, do you have a mentor? Do you have someone watching you, looking after you? And then it's like she walks outside and there's this creepy thing that you're like, is that gonna harm her? Is that something there to support her? What the hell is that? That was eerie. That was wild.
I think things are gonna get a lot darker than we assume. Like when I saw that, I immediately flashed back to the first scene of the first episode where she was fully in blood. Like I feel like this is going in a very, very dark place. I don't know what it is.
How can you not think that? It was some big, like you said, Grim Reaper like thing.
Scary.
That was wild. Such a good lead into the next episode.
100%.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, do you think that this person is controlling her and she has no idea? This thing?
I don't know if I think it's controlling her. I think that whatever it is has something to do with her powers, or it's
interesting.
Yeah, pushing her in one way or another. One part of me was like, ooh, maybe it's her dad. Wouldn't that be wild?
I was just thinking that.
I was like, ooh, maybe. So I don't know.
I was gonna say, it seems like it's kind of, part of me was like, it's gonna tie into something to do with her father, like, but I don't know what it is.
You think she'll be able to see it? That's what else I want to know too.
You think she'll be able to see it?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
thought, when she was walking away from it, for a second when that was happening, I thought she was going to turn around and like
So
look.
yep,
Uh,
so did I.
Didn't.
mhm.
So, I don't know.
I'll be
So did I.
excited.
Well, that leaves us with a huge question mark for
Yeah.
episode number 5, 6, and 7. What's gonna happen? We don't know, but we're excited to find out. But before we go, please, my beautiful people, tell everyone where they could find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Kelsmeyer2. They've all heard it a million times, but number 1 was taken. So 2. And I post everything on there. So whatever I post a link to, follow me on that other thing also. Yay.
You can catch me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the above at David Vaswani. And Kelsey, Ricky, and I are going to be making some TikToks real soon.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Let's go.
You're not allowed to do
And
that.
you can find me in St. Louis rolling them dubs, smoking them dubs, blood slipping dubs like bubble. I was just being Nelly, sorry.
I was like,
you can find me.
What?
And you can find me at Ricky Vitucci on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for viewing us. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for being here. We love you, and we will see you next time. Stay classy.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.